Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining in today. I'm super excited today. We got a jazz fusion request by BMAC. Thank you so much, BMAC. I appreciate it. And we're going to do some Simon Phillips. So I do know of Simon Phillips just a little bit, but let's check it out here. We got a email by BMAC. Let's take a look. And it says here, Simon Phillips project called Protocol. The song is, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Jagannath, I think, from the album Protocol 5, the 5th album. It says here, on bass, we have Ernest Tibbs. On the keys, Otmaro Ruiz. On the sax, Jacob Skensny. And then we have on guitar, Alex Sill. On the drums, of course, Simon Phillips. And it says here, you might recognize the name Simon Phillips from his drum playing with, it says Jeff Beck, Michael Schenker, Nick Kershaw, Mike Oldfield, Judas Priest, Mike Rutherford, Tears for Fears, 10cc, The Who, and many others. I don't know. I think I've just bought, I think once I bought, also Toto and Jeff Porcaro. Oh no, I'm sorry. Toto after Jeff Porcaro passed away. Enjoy, my friend. I think you'll like this. I remember of Simon Phillips. I know there's another very, very famous drummer who actually is a jazz drummer. And he played on Megadeth. I do have to look it up right now. I don't remember. But Simon Phillips was through the Magna Carta catalog when I was into Dream Theater and stuff. I got into there were like all these tributes for like Rush, ELP. I didn't buy them because at the time I just didn't know, but I remember that on the catalog there was Simon Phillips and then Kansas, Liquid Tension, Shadow Gallery, etc. You know, that's how I knew of Simon Phillips. And I think I've heard some of Simon Phillips, but more in the jazz world, not really like rock. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and listen to this. Thank you so much again, BMAC, for reaching out, for sponsoring the video. I appreciate it. And here we go. I'm going to go and look real quick at the drummer that I'm actually talking about that I like. That is a Vinny Colaiuta. That's the drummer that played with Megadeth. It's kind of funny because he's also like a jazz fusion drummer. All right, so, okay, Jagannath, here we go. Enjoy. If you like the video, please leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. Here we go. Man, this is the music. That's the music that I wanted to put on the channel. That's the reason that the channel even exists. I was putting this kind of music on the channel, and then we got a copyright strike for some reason. But also, I know now why, because I put up an entire concert, and I didn't really know about copyright stuff, you know. And then the rights holder of the concert, he just gave us a strike, and I was like devastated. And we had about 100 subscribers when that happened. And then Alexa was like, hey, just show me the music in a setting where we actually talk over and stuff like that. Now, I try not to talk over music anymore because it's going to get copyright claimed anyways if you pause or if you talk over. So I just let it play out. But this is the stuff that I listen to, like literally in my private, you know, when I listen to music just to listen to it, to learn. But Simon Phillips, I've never listened to this. Protocol is really good, but it's insane all the stuff that I do know when it's like fans also like. I want to do some recommendations. I love this. I love here, for example, of course, the complex drumming, the you know, all the syncopation here with the sax and the electric guitar playing the same parts at the same time. The improvisation. I love there was a little bit of Holdsworth in there from the guitar player. I think every fusion guitar player is a little bit influenced by him and others, you know, Sean Lane, Alan Holdsworth, Frank Gambale is on here, who's been on, for example, Rick Beato. All the fusion players, you know, Scott Henderson is on here. It reminded me very much of Tribal Tech, this piece. And yeah, I mean, let's just, you know, like get into the stuff that I want to recommend you that is really, really good. Derek Sherinian is a solo artist. He has worked with Aldi Meola, Alan Holdsworth, Yngwie Malmsteen, Zach Wilde, everyone that's a good, Tony McAlpine, everyone that's a fusion player and good, but also metal guys. You know, he was the keyboard player for Dream Theater, so he has done some remarkable stuff with Virgil Donati on the drums, Planet X. Check out his solo work, Derek Sherinian, Mythology, the album. There's an amazing solo called, a track called God of War. And the solo on there by Alan Holdsworth is just breathtaking. So Greg Howe is on here. I'm a huge fan of Greg Howe. Derek Sherinian, Frank Gambale, Vinny Colaiuta, Andy Timmons, even Mr. Fastfinger. I remember listening to that when I was younger. Virgil Donati, Matteo Mancuso. He's one of the best players right now in the world. Of course, Guthrie Govan, Scott Henderson, Marco Miniman. He's part of the group of Guthrie Govan, who are the Aristocrats. Mohini Day, she's amazing on the bass. Andy Wood, Tony Levin, I mean, King Crimson, Peter Gabriel. Brett Garsett, that's another one that's very underrated from Australia. Check him out. He has played with Virgil Donati, TJ Helmrich. Amazing fusion, amazing jazz fusion. Steve Lukather, I think, from Toto as a solo artist. Alan Hines, of course. Oz Noy, we saw him live. Jordan Rudess of Dream Theater. Let's see, Jimmy Haslip, Alan Holdsworth he's a bass player. What else? Jeff Coleman, of course, I know him. Danielle Gottardo from YouTube, an amazing player. There's so much stuff that I like that's on here that's similar to this type of fusion. It's just like that's the music that interests me the most, and it's also unfortunately the one that gets the least amount of attention from the audience because it is instrumental music, which is just, you know, sometimes people don't, it's just like a little bit too much. But that's so cool because since I was and I'm still so enamored with this kind of music, that's why it was easy to get into bands like Yes and Genesis and just proggy stuff that's a little bit more out there, you know, especially prog, like I would say Gentle Giant. That's a lot more out there than, let's say, Kansas, or Genesis. I think the bands, I mean, early Genesis maybe, and early Yes, maybe sound like this, but not as much. There's not so much jazz in there. I think there's more classical music in there. But yeah, this is just fantastic. This was wonderful. Thank you so much, BMAC. I know we have the same taste in music, like when it comes to like fusion, we listen to the same guys, but I wanted to really recommend you someone that's amazing. And he's on my top 5 of best, what I consider the best guitar players. I think Alan Holdsworth is always going to be my number 1 because he has just shaped this whole, like, the way I listen to music. And I think everybody has been influenced by Alan Holdsworth, even the greatest guys. Even I think people like Frank Gambale, who recorded an album with him, The Truth in Shredding, from the Mark Varney project. If you can listen to that on YouTube, it's unfortunately not on Spotify as of yet. There's Mark Varney, who did all the jazz playing and all the crazy jazz fusion players, and then there's Mike Varney, who did all the metal guys like Yngwie Malmsteen, Paul Gilbert, Tony McAlpine, Steve, I don't know, Marty Friedman, Jason Becker, all these guys. But Mark Varney is like a different direction. Sean Lane, we have Centrifugal Funk. We have Brett Garsett on there, Sean Lane. We have Greg Howe. Well, I think it's Brett Garsett, but it's just such a great project. But I wanted to recommend you really, like, listen to Richard Hallebeek. He's a Dutch guitar player. He's amazing. Maybe if you want to look up some stuff on YouTube first so you can see him play live, but his stuff is amazing. And he has worked with Greg Howe and Brett Garsett and with anybody who's good. And he's not on here because he's a little bit more underground, not well known. But I have a really cool class, chords and also lines, jazz lines, and just theory in general. I think I have 3 courses on True Fire. True Fire is an amazing company that you should check out. Alexia has a bass course there as well. But yeah, BMAC, you and I, we're brothers, and fusion, like I have brothers in metal with other people. I think this music is severely underrated. It's really like the best players in the business, they play this kind of music. That's, I guess, what the most fun is to be had. Tetsu Sakurai and Richie Kotzen should be on here as well. But Richie Kotzen, he can do this kind of stuff, but he decided to go more in a vocal kind of like route. Check out bands. Like, if you like this, guys, if you like this music, please go on Spotify, type in the name of this band, Protocol, and then look under fans also like, and then anything you click on is gonna sound not exactly the same because there's a lot of improvisation, but it's gonna have that style, really cool rhythm, amazing drumming. These are all master musicians. Unfortunately, this style of music is not appreciated as it should be, the way it should be. And but yeah, by listening to it, you're elevating pretty much everything. Your listening skills and also just your taste for music. I think if you like prog music, you're gonna love this. I mean, what's not to love? It's like Rush playing an instrumental, or Dream Theater. Like Liquid Tension. A little bit even more. I would say, would I dare and say a little bit more out there? It's like a little bit more. I mean, jazz is just a little bit more out there, I guess, than prog, because even though they're very similar, jazz has the element of improvisation that, progressive rock, maybe sometimes, yes, maybe in a live setting, but usually these guitar players, they write their solos and then they play them that way, And as in jazz, they always change it up, Again, thank you so much. If you like this, please give it a like, leave a comment, If you know anything, any artist that we should listen to, that's not on the list. I know there's going to be a lot. I know just right now thinking of it. I mean, there's so many people that I know that I listen to that play this type of music, and I didn't mention them because there's so many other artists, you know, that have this kind of like sound. But yeah, like at your, you know, your ones. And maybe we can learn something from you from the comment section. But again, thank you so much. And I hope if you enjoyed the video that you can subscribe and continue watching this stuff with us. Again, thank you so much. Thank you, BMAC. And I'll see you all in the next one.